messaged me and he's like, Megan, you are following another creator who's MAGA. Say it ain't so. So immediately go in, unfollow, no problem, right? But then he goes, don't you think it's ironic that the people who voted for Kamala have no worries yelling from the rooftops that they voted for Kamala, but the people who voted for Trump almost never want to say they voted for Trump. Their line is always, I don't like to talk about politics on this page, or this page isn't political. I want to keep it that way. This page isn't political. What does that even mean? Because right now in the United States of America, we're not fighting a political war. We're fighting a war on morality. We're fighting a war to make sure that people aren't getting kidnapped off the streets and separated from their families when they're just trying to do the right thing and become a citizen legally. We're trying to fight for cancer research. We're trying to fight for healthcare. We're trying to fight for equality. We're trying to fight for trans rights. We're trying to fight for all of that. So we don't mind saying that we did the good thing, that we voted for the good person, but you won't admit it, which to me says, you know you didn't vote for a good person. You know you voted for a bad person, but you don't care because you felt like it benefited you. So you voted for the bad person because it benefited you. But now you're too afraid to get on your platform to say you did that. So all I'm saying is that if you're going to vote for the shitty person, at least be loud and proud enough to say it. Gather around, bitches. Let's all join hands and bow our heads in thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
That's Megan Farina. Mind you, she has over 600,000 followers on TikTok. She's an influencer. And that's her stance on Charlie Kirk.
I'm not super political on here, but I have to say this. If you do a dance because somebody gets publicly executed and you mock the people that are praying for his recovery, and you post that to over 500,000 followers online, and I find out that you're my neighbor and you have a business here in town. Oh, broski, bro. Oh, you're gonna go out of business so fast, dude. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. Here's the thing. You can post whatever you want. Say whatever you want. Free country. That's your right. But don't think that there's no social consequences for what you say and do. Because you forgot you live in a community, right? Like, we're a town here. We're a city. And we're the ones that are supporting your business. We're the ones that are paying for your services. And when we find out that you're doing things that are kind of icky and evil, we don't really feel like spending our money at your business anymore. Yeah, you have a lot of competition, and we're just going to take our money and spend it somewhere else. It's called voting with your dollar. We can choose to spend money with you, but based on the consensus of this town, yeah, people don't really feel like doing that anymore. Considering that you have 1 star on Yelp, that you had to take down your Google reviews, your website, you had to lock your TikTok comments, and that you're famous on every social media platform for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, I don't think we really are going to keep spending our money with you.
Here's the thing, and I want to lay this out plain because too many people get lost in the noise. You can't go online, mock someone's assassination, do a little dance, and then act surprised when the world doesn't clap for you. That's not courage, that's hypocrisy. And this is where common sense comes in, because we live in a culture that wants to have it both ways. And people cheer when someone they disagree with gets silenced, banned, deplatformed, or worse. But then the second the tables turn, suddenly they're the victim. Suddenly they want free speech. Suddenly they want community. That's not principle, that's convenience. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to defend death threats, doxing, or harassment. I do not wish for anybody to lose any form of income to provide for their families, their kids, their children, and take care of their bills. It's hard out here. And that's wrong no matter who it happens to. Nobody's kids should be dragged into politics. Nobody's business should be vandalized. Nobody should be afraid to walk out their door. But let's be real. If you build a brand on spitting venom, mocking death, and treating politics like a game where the other side deserves pain, then you shouldn't be shocked when people start wanting to buy what you're selling. It's not fascism. That's the free market at work. We all vote with our dollar, whether we admit it or not. And if your community doesn't like the way you carry yourself, they'll take their business somewhere else. That's life. That's consequences. And here's the wisdom part, the medicine in the candy. Free speech isn't about being free from consequences, and it's about being free from government censorship. And you can say what you want, and you should, but the world doesn't owe you applause, protection, or profit for it. And if you only believe in free speech when it benefits your side, you don't believe in free speech at all. And that's the truth nobody wants to hear, but it's the truth that sets you free, because once you embrace it, you stop playing the victim and start owning your choices. And this is the irony with Megan's case. She celebrated Charlie Kirk being silenced in the most permanent way possible through violence, and then turned around to call herself a free speech advocate when she lost business and got criticized. But check out her response in regards of the backlash, and then I'll give more of my take, and I want to know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Check it out.
Kirk was shot, I posted a video offering him the same thoughts and prayers that he offered after every child was senselessly gunned down while at school. Within an hour, and before any condition was known on Charlie, I posted a follow-up video expressing why I felt the way I did, and even ended with, I hope Charlie Kirk makes a full recovery and goes on to become a gun violence advocate. Since if you have watched any of the videos on my page, you would know I stand firmly on not being violent, and that violence is not the way we are going to fix things in this country. Well, since I posted those 2 videos, my life has been completely turned upside down, and I have been thrown into what I can only explain as literal hell. First, my address was leaked, and then all of my family's personal information followed. My boyfriend's company, again, I said he's my boyfriend, he is not my husband, that has absolutely nothing to do with TikTok, with my TikTok account, or social media, or politics in general, has been defamed and slandered. Calls and negative reviews started pouring in by the thousands. Someone showed up to his company, entered his private office, and verbally assaulted him. My child, and my family's lives have been threatened thousands of times. I have received text messages and emails saying I should be raped and murdered, and that people are coming to my house, say my address, and then say they are coming to spray it with bullets. MAGA protesters have shown up to my house, driven through my private neighborhood, sent me hate mail, left notes on my boyfriend's office, and my own neighbor has offered to share my whereabouts with the internet. Yes, you heard that correctly. My neighbor has offered to share my whereabouts with the internet. We have been traumatized and stripped of our privacy, all because I said Charlie Kirk, who did not believe in empathy himself, did not have mine. I think the most ironic thing is that my life and my family's lives have been torn apart over my words on the internet by the very people who support Charlie Kirk and are always yelling the loudest about their First Amendment right and freedoms of speech. And while I realize and believe strongly that words have consequences, there is nothing that I did or said that even deserved a percentage of what happened to me and my family. And I know I am not the only one whose life has been destroyed over this. Hundreds, if not thousands, of other content creators on this very app have been fired from their jobs and doxxed. And I must say, that really terrifies me, because it makes it clear that these people only want us to have the First Amendment right and freedom of speech when it fits their narrative. That is not the country I was born in, and that is certainly not the country I want to raise my child in. So today I come to you with a few calls to action. First, if you or anybody you know has been doxxed, harassed, threatened, or fired, please reach out to me via email at I'veBeenDoxxed2@gmail.com. Secondly, please consider attending your local No Kings Part 2 protest.
All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Now, I do not condone in any of what she said in regards of the backlash when it comes to knowing her whereabouts, writing letters to her husband, business, um, you know, the whole matter that I mentioned before about doxing and so forth. But what I do want to talk about is the cognitive dissonance, right? And that basically is defined as the psychological discomfort where she feels as though she had free speech to basically not respect death. In this case, defaming and slandering someone, in this case, Charlie Kirk, who have unfortunately died in cold blood due to an unfortunate situation, which Charlie Kirk was someone who was very held Christian values, conservative values, very strong beliefs. But however, it did not incite violence in any way, shape, or form. And if you agreed disagreeably, you could debate him and have a conversation. That was it. Now, from far as we know, as far as what I know, because I don't know Charlie Kirk personally, obviously, and she 9 times out of 10 doesn't either. But however, she took remarks and may have remixed it to her own beliefs of how she sees Charlie Kirk for who he is as someone who is not empathetic, right? But the point I'm saying is, when has it come to the point where where's the fine line when someone passes away, in this case, in a horrific matter, that we have respect for death and humanity, right? She mentioned human rights. So you can't have the belief of your first right amendment where you can say things out of regards of not respecting someone's husband who's now a widow, respecting someone as a father, and not just respecting death. And you put these thoughts out on the internet. You cannot sit there and now say how the internet shall respond. You should have never posted it. You should have just said thoughts and prayers and condolences and left it alone. I said this before in my previous video. The big networks and stuff like that, they should leave this alone. It's already horrific, unfortunate, cold blood matter is horrifying. And it also raises the question of, can we even have discussions, even if we disagree anymore, about without anyone thinking of taking a life? So when you sit there and you mock someone out of disrespect to the dead, of someone who died and got their life taken away from them. They didn't die from a natural death or a natural cause. Their life has been taken away from them. Your mockery can incite violence, and most of the individuals who have been doxxed incited violence by making a mockery or laughing or celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And who wants to be a part of that? Would you want to be a part the same way she doesn't want individuals responding in such a horrific, um unnecessary matter, which I do agree. No one should be knowing about her whereabouts or trying to kill her and things like that. But however, you can't sit there and believe for you that it's okay to mock someone's death who got killed in they got killed, right? Charlie Kirk got killed. So you won't want that for yourself. So why you couldn't respect the simple fact of someone you barely know, just based on what you've seen as clips on the internet, just like I have seen, to take a chance to mock it and mock his death and make a mockery of it on social media, right? So the energy that you put out, you got back in return, and now you don't like the response of you got the same response of you mocking Charlie Kirk's death and basically a celebratory matter. And now people are looking at it in a celebratory matter to come after you for your remarks. You have two beliefs that are contradicting, right? This is not only cognitive dissonance, this is also, if you want me to be honest, it is also what's the word? What's the word for it? Selective outrage. And it doesn't hold up under scrutiny. See, principles are only real if they apply when it hurts, not just when it's convenient. So if you think censorship is fine when it happens to your opponent, but outrageous when it happens to you, you don't stand on principle. You stand on shifting sand, moving a goalpost. And let's be honest, a lot of what we're seeing today is people drowning in the quicksand of their own double standards. The lesson here, the candy coated medicine, is that accountability feels like persecution when you never practice it on yourself. But it's not persecution, it's just reality. And if you put hatred in the world, don't be shocked when it circles back. If you push for cancel culture, don't be shocked when you get canceled. If you celebrate censorship, don't cry when you're censored. That's the feedback loop we live in, right? And you have conservatives. Conservatives need to hear it as well. I don't care if you're a liberal. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. This ain't political for me. It's life lessons I love to talk about. Just having conversations on how to be better, do better, and evolve as people. No one's perfect. So when you look at it, man, we rush to defend people, right? Who wouldn't do the same for you. So what I'm saying is we want to prove we're better and we want to take the high road, but here's the rub. The high road doesn't mean carrying people who throw you under the bus 5 minutes ago. The high road is staying consistent in your principles, refusing to cheer for assassination, refusing to cheer for harassment, and recognizing that free speech cuts both ways. That's where wisdom lives. The real way to really wake someone up in regards of the reality of things is you don't coddle them. You hold them accountable. And now she got the taste of her own medicine, a taste of the world that she built for others, well, built for herself, or the way she have built for others. Or sometimes you do get a taste of what you built for others because she's an influencer, right? So if you create this whole influence of celebrating someone's death who got assassinated, who's a husband, a father, and that's how you influence and live in that, and now you don't like the response, but this is the world that you getting a taste of the own world and you're getting a taste of the own world and influence that you built. And you're saying your life feels like hell, but this is what it takes to realize that mob justice, cancel culture, and celebrating violence isn't a path to a healthy society. Maybe the medicine in the story is simple, family. And I don't know. I'm just giving my thoughts. If you want a better community, be the kind neighbor you actually want to have. If you want to respect your speech, respect other people. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Catch you next one. Peace.